Okay, so I'm getting questions. Am I worried about this Bitcoin crash and all the other cryptos that are crashing? Am I worried about it? We're going to talk about that today. Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy, and if you want to follow along my journey as I build wealth for my family, then subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And remember, none of this is intended to be financial advice. These are merely my opinions and speculations. I am just a guy sitting in front of a computer talking to a camera. All right, so obviously, there are many of you who are probably down overall in your portfolio. It's understandable why. Everything is seeming to be tanking and crashing. Now, there's a little bit of a blip today, maybe in the up direction. Whether that holds or not, we'll see. Time will tell. But I want to talk about, am I worried? And the reality is that I'm really not worried. And here's why. I want to talk about something. I want to show you a graph that somebody much smarter than me put together. Obviously, you can see here the price history of Bitcoin, and you can see these dips. All right, so here you can see, this is the chart of Bitcoin. Here is 2018, where it bounced up to 19,000 and some change, and then it obviously dropped down over a period of, what's that, February 6th. December. So over a 2-month period, dropped down, and then it came up, down, sort of bounced around for a little while. This is May of 2019, so for about a year, and then boom, we moved up 10. All right, so you can see here the little blip in the history since 2018 of the Bitcoin price. Look at what's going on with the volumes. That tells me that there are more and more people that are getting interested in Bitcoin. Yes, we are experiencing a tank right now. You can see here head and shoulders. If you do any sort of technical analysis, a lot of people will talk about these. You know, it hits a high, then it comes down, and then it hits a higher high, drops back down, and then it goes back up, but not as high as this last one. And that's a bear sign in a lot of ways. People will say, okay, if you see those 3 humps with a higher hump in the middle, then that's a sign that we're going to get a crash. And, you know, it seemed to happen. But this is why I'm not nervous. I'm not afraid. Let's look at this graph. And I'm not sure, okay, so how much .net, it looks like, created this graph. But this is a visual representation of Bitcoin crashes. This was in January 2012, it went from 738 down to 380. But what happened? It bounced back to a new all-time high of 1641, August of 2012. So about, what is that, 8 months later, new all-time high, and then we get a crash, 50% correction, boom, back to 710. What happened? Well, again, we hit a new all-time high of $49. Dropped down to 33, and this is March, so about 7 months later, dropped down 33%, came up 50% almost to 76, and then dropped down to 50. Again, hitting all new all-time highs. And then from there, what happened? This is March 2013. April 2013, it hit 259, a new all-time high. What happened? Corrected 83% down to 45, which is right here in that area. And then what happened again? Hit a new all-time high, 755. Corrected back down to 378, 50% correction. Again, all new all-time highs. So you can see here the trend of what happens with Bitcoin. Hits an all-new all-time high, drops down 151, November 2013. And then we go up to 1350, which is higher than this last high. And then a 30% correction back to 891, 2700, down to 1850. You can see here, this is 2017. So obviously, a lot of time happened between 2013 to, or this would be 2015 to 2017. So obviously, in that time frame, Bitcoin was not going up very quickly. It was going up, but you're talking about a 2-year move to hit a new all-time high. Then from March to May, it basically doubled almost, not quite doubled. And then from May to June, you know, another $400 or so on the upside. And then you can see from June 2017 to September 2017, it moved up like 1.5% or 150%, something like that, to hit 4,900. And then again, almost doubled from September 2017 to 2018. And then this huge dramatic rise up to 19,000. That was in 2018. Now that's where this graph ends. But whenever we look over here, so this is basically where that graph left off. You can see that it went from about 19,000 down to, I think it hit 3. I don't know where this is at, 3,000. All right, so December of 2017 to March of 2019. So that's like a year and a half. It was a huge drop. Then what happened? Over time, again, look at the volumes. Up until this point, look at where the volumes were. And then right here, Bitcoin started to go mainstream. People began to believe in it and started investing more and more dollars. And look at what happened. Went up. Okay, so there, it's climbing. And then October of 2020, look at that. It went from, so this is literally not even a year ago. It was at 11,000. We know what happened. At 40, again, corrected down to 30. And then here's our two humps. $63,000 as the high. Drop back down, another bounce up, and then drop back down. And so the question is, am I worried? And the reality is I'm not. That doesn't mean that I believe necessarily that Bitcoin is going to bounce back quickly. What I do know is when you look at the price history of Bitcoin, it always goes in these waves, and it goes up to an all-new all-time high, then it comes back down, and then it goes up to an all-new all-time high after an elapsed period of time. And so am I worried that Bitcoin is never going to recover? No, not at all. You think about what's happening right now. You've got hedge funds that are now starting to invest in crypto. You've got people like Elon Musk who are talking about Bitcoin, then not talking about Bitcoin, talking about Bitcoin and not talking about it. Anyway, it's starting to get a lot more popular and mainstream. Here's the other thing. I don't know if any of you followed Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey has been somebody who has been bashing on Bitcoin for years and years and years, saying that it's silly, it's phony money, you should not invest in it. I just recently watched one of his videos where he was talking to a caller. His whole mentality has changed slightly because most of the time he just bashes on people who are investing in crypto. That didn't happen this time. He basically said that he only invests in things that he understands, and he doesn't really understand it. He's probably just a boomer is what he calls himself. That is a shift in how he has talked about Bitcoin. The reality is that likely this whole volume is just going to continue to rise over the coming months and years, and more people are going to be getting into crypto. Now, you go around and ask your fellow neighbors, your family, hey, do you invest in crypto? I bet that it's probably less than 30–40% of your friends and family have any crypto. That will change as people are beginning to understand and learn. The NFT marketplace is coming out. People are starting to talk more and more about NFTs. Crypto and Bitcoin are not going away. They are here for the long haul, and it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin rebounds. Again, I don't know if that's going to be 6 months. I don't know if that's going to be 2 weeks. I don't know if that's going to be a year and a half. But what I do know is that Bitcoin is not going to stay down forever, and it will likely bounce back to all new all-time highs. And we'll see how long it takes for Bitcoin to recover. If you like this video, please like it, share it with somebody who might want to see it. Big thank you and shout out to the patrons below. They are what makes this channel possible. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a link to the Patreon. You can go click on that and join today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've got another video starting right over here. Go check that out. I'll see you over there.